Now, this is the rub. This is the turn that Lewis makes, because he awakens this
Actually,
desire.
before you move on to the rub, sorry, one more thing with the Christmas
Sure.
analogy.
No,
How
please, yeah.
many classic Christmas movies? I mean, the plot of almost every Christmas movie is you experienced Christmas wonder as a kid, then you grew up, and now you're just sad and miserable with your adult life. But let's take you back can you get back to the magic? Like, getting back to the magic is like half the Christmas movies ever made. And we all almost tear up at them because we've all lived that.
Right.
Is that is that a lot of what you're getting at, broadly speaking?
That's precisely the thing, that if we dwell on it too long, it would probably press us to tears. You know, that deep yearning, and the fact that we did not possess it. Now, the other thing I would say is, we know that it's perpetually outside of us, and we know that we wish to be brought into it. So, like Lewis says, we see a beautiful sunset, and it moves us so deeply, but to where? Quote, "Beauty has smiled, but it has not come to welcome us. Her face was turned in our direction, but not to see us. We have not been accepted, welcomed, or taken into the dance. We may go, or we may stay if we can, but nobody marks us." Is that, do you get? He's further building this this image, and so it is music from a concert that we've never attended. It's news from a country that we've never been to, but it is the door that we have been knocking on all of our lives. And the rub is that the Christian testimony says that one day the door will be opened at last. The door will be opened at last. And so the idea is, when I look at so many people driven by these fleshly desires, I think of this passage from Lewis. We are half-hearted creatures. Our desires are not too strong, but too weak. We are fooling around with drink and the sex and ambition when infinite joy is offered us, like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in a slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a day at the beach. We are far too easily pleased.
Oh boy, I just got the prodigal son in my mind.
You're starting to understand, but that's the idea. So I don't mean to harp on the point, and we can continue to move into this, but the idea is that the Christian mystery gives us the apparatus to not only view beauty, not only enjoy beauty, but to be utterly consumed by beauty himself. That is the Christian mission, and that ceaseless desire in our hearts is our hearts calling out to God. Now, everything we associate with formalized religion seems opposed to this desire. A man would probably rather, if he's prone to sins of the flesh, have sexual intercourse with a prostitute than go to Sunday Mass, right? But what we don't understand, Lewis is saying, is those things that seem at odds to our inmost desires are actually the means to them. But we are too ignorant, too blind, and too foolish to see this.
And I think the tragedy of that one in particular is that clearly, once you cross that line of immorality, there's no going back. You only make that mistake once before you lose something you can never regain. And the analogy you've used of the tree in the garden, you eat the fruit, you discover you're actually experiencing shame and nothing of what you thought you would get, and it's too late. Like you are no longer fit in that moment to dwell in the presence of God. And now you can be redeemed and brought into reconciliation with God himself. But you notice, on earth anyways, Adam and Eve never got back in. Innocence was never fully regained. In heaven, it will be. But I don't know that heaven innocence is even the word, because it's like super innocence, like beyond innocence. Because now you've experienced the fall and the restoration and the glorification. So what is that? That's like better. That's like what you think Christmas was, and it never really was. It's like the thing you think it was, it actually will be, if that makes sense.
Precisely. It's if we go back to those points where beauty gazed upon us, we would not feel the same thing. I think we've all had this before. I had this recently where, I loved the hair when I was a kid. They made me feel the magic. The magic was alive, right? And then I will watch them now and I'll get hints of it. But the beauty that came through that is not there in and of itself. It comes through that. The beauty is from God. And that is the thing. Now, I think I don't know if we disagree on this, but what redemption really is, I would say is, in a certain sense, the working towards God is falling back under the spell, re-believing in magic. I know that sounds fantastical, but the idea is that magic is real, if that makes sense, right? Like the fairy tales are probably more useful than the science books as far as the Christian is concerned, because it speaks to the beauty that God has laced into the world that will be ours once more if we follow Christ. But if we follow the things in and of themselves, if we follow our sexual desires, if we follow media, if we follow politics, if we follow any of these things, they're turned into dumb idols, and we are slaves to them because we have misappropriated our true end and the ultimate good. The ultimate good is God.